All right, I just played the first 40 minutes of Hyrule Warriors Age of Imprisonment. So let me give you my first impressions. Let me tell you what I think, my thoughts, and all that good stuff. So let me just say I'm kind of blown away because I really didn't expect this game to be as good as it has been. I didn't expect it to kidnap my brain capacity. Like, I thought it was going to be a little bit of a slog to get through. I thought it was going to be kind of boring, but I'm actually enjoying it a lot more than I expected going into this. So as you might have seen already, I've played the demo for this game. I went to a Best Buy kiosk and they had like the first 15 minutes of the game, or at least I thought it was the first 15 minutes of the game. It's a random part of the game. You're playing 15 minutes of it. It's not really that engaging. And to be fair, I didn't really understand or learn how to play it. They just kind of throw you in, which I think is a huge mistake because I actually got kind of turned off from the game from that demo, but I purchased it anyway because I thought I wanted to give it a full-blown try. A good old try. And I'm glad I did, because this is like I said, this is a lot more fun than I had initially expected it was going to be. Again, I've only played the first 40 minutes, but I'm hooked. Usually in the first 30-40 minutes of a game, I feel like you should kind of want to continue playing it. If it goes past an hour and you're not vibing with it, then chances are you might not vibe with it in the long run. That obviously is different for a lot of games, but I find for these hack and slash games, and especially Nintendo games, they really got to just put you in the deep end and just get you going. And I find that the tutorials and actually learning the mechanics, knowing what the characters do and how to actually fight, the dodging, the rolling, the sprinting, all that, I think it's actually super important to know and to have it teach you that when you join the game instead of it just kind of throwing you in like the demo did. Anyways, that being said, why am I enjoying this so much? Before I say that, sorry for the mic. I don't know if the mic is being a goofy guy. Let me know in the comments if it sounds kind of bad. I'm using a different mic today. Whatever. It is what it is. You can hear me and that's all that matters, I hope. So I think the most notable thing that really stood out to me at first is the graphics and performance. Oh my goodness, this is by far the best looking Warriors game, like a Nintendo Warriors game ever. Obviously, this is the first Nintendo Switch 2 Warriors game, and it's using the Switch 2's full-blown power to look as good as it possibly can look. But you can really tell that they've been using this Switch 2 power. They utilize it all right. The crazy thing is, like, I look at Pokemon Legends ZA, and obviously that's like a Switch 1 and everything. Like, that's a Switch 1 game at the end of the day, but it just looks so much worse compared to this game. There's so many blades of grass. It's a nice, crisp resolution. I don't know if it's a full 4K, but it's nice and crisp. It's definitely above 1080p. And the frame rate. This game is finally in 60 frames per second, which if you played a Warriors game in the past, those are all like 30 frames per second. And especially the last games on the Switch 1 console itself ran very poorly, like under 30 frames per second very consistently. Now this game, if you play in co-op mode, runs at 30 frames per second. I haven't played in co-op mode yet, but that's just what I've heard. But I gotta just say, like, my very first impression, I'm like, dang, this looks good. And I think it's even more satisfying smashing these enemies in 60 frames per second. It just feels right. So let's talk a little bit more about the gameplay, because this is not the gameplay style that I generally like in a game. Like, I found that the last Warriors games were very repetitive in a way. I just kind of smashed the Y button as much as possible and kind of called it a day. I didn't really get too deep into the combos and all that stuff. And I know that the previous games were deep when it comes to all the combos and everything, but I just didn't utilize them as much in the past games. Maybe I just didn't care, but I've really taken the time to try and figure out what moves do what, how to dodge, how to block things. There's this new mechanic. I actually don't know if it's new, but there's this mechanic where if someone's charging at you, you can kind of parry them. They brought over the Flurry Rush from Breath of the Wild and Tears of the Kingdom, which is really cool. I'm sure that was in the last Warriors game, but again, I didn't really play the last Warriors game too much. I thought it was a little too repetitive for my taste, or maybe I didn't give that one really enough of a try, but I really am taking my time with this one and learning it the best I can to try and give it the best possible chance on the Russ Vandy game gauge, which is how I rank games. So stay tuned to the main channel. I'm going to do a little review on there and I'll rank it there. So once again, subscribe to that channel if you're not already. Now, I also want to briefly touch on the story. So here's a funny little thing about me. I played The Legend of Zelda Tears of the Kingdom quite a bit when it first released, but I never actually beat the game. I don't think I got past when you go and get all your little allies, your sages. I never got past that in my first gameplay, and I'm actually replaying Tears of the Kingdom right now. And it's not really a spoiler because it happens right at the beginning of the game. And if you play this, it literally, again, it's right at the beginning of the game. Pretty much you need to go find Zelda. Zelda like disappears. And this is actually where Zelda goes. This is the whole story. So it's funny. The second time I'm playing through Tears of the Kingdom, I just restarted it again. I'm at the part where Zelda vanishes, which is like right at the beginning of the game. So it's kind of fitting that I'm playing this right now because now I'm playing the Zelda storyline. And I think because of that, I'm a little bit more intrigued because I don't really know how that story ends. I think either way, I might spoil it for myself from Tears of the Kingdom because I'm pretty sure they do explain it, but it doesn't really matter at this point. I'm actually really liking the story. I thought that the characters would be pretty lame, like Rauru, but I've gotten fond to them. I actually really enjoy what they're adding to the story and how they're kind of helping Zelda out a bit. I would say the only odd thing, the only quirky thing is this Korok seed fella, and then he kind of just makes this Zonai version of Link potentially. It's just kind of forced in a way, and I think that they are trying to make it a little more quirky, a little more family friendly by adding this character, not making it so serious in a way, which I guess is fine. It is what it is. Again, I haven't gotten far enough into the story to really have a strong opinion on that, so that's just something I noticed from the beginning. And again, I don't want to compare it to Pokemon too much, but I just have to because Pokemon's one of the biggest game companies out there. But the fact that this game has voice acting really adds so much to it. There's so much more personality in each of these voices. There's so much more care into the game in general, which makes me care more about the game. And again, I know I hate comparing it to Pokemon Legends ZA, but that game released just recently, like 2 weeks ago, and seeing the quality difference between Hyrule Warriors and Pokemon is just absolutely wild to me. Hyrule Warriors looks and feels so fantastic. Oh, and that's the other thing. They added seemingly a ton to this game. The fact that there are plenty of characters and they each have their own animations and move sets and special abilities, and then you can do this ally thing where you use someone else that's with you, and it just merges all so well together, and I think I'm in for a treat. I think I'm gonna enjoy this. I looked at the Metacritic scores this morning to kind of see what everyone else's opinions are, and I saw a lot of 9s on there. There was a couple of 8s, some 7s. There's one 4. So not everyone likes this game, and I was afraid that one would be me. But again, I'm gonna give it a little bit more of a test. I'm gonna see how I like it a little bit more, and stay tuned on the main channel because I'm gonna review the game fully or give you another first impression style video like this, but with a little more detail. I'm gonna get quite a few hours into this tonight, and we'll see from there. So if you like these kind of videos, let me know in the comments. Thank you all so much for watching the second channel. I got tons of videos coming up. It's kind of crazy how much I'm uploading on here, but let me know what you think about them. If you like them, if you don't like them, all that stuff. Thank you all so much for watching. I've seen the next one. See you later.